Right, we are recording now. I'm still in the pencils layer, but we are going to get into inking. I was just looking at this and I'm thinking, you know, I've got his eye line here and I've got her eye line about the same. It might be best, or for the best, if I go ahead and put Rabbit Fighter, who doesn't have any lines, and put him right there. And that's not any trouble to do. Just moments before I started recording, I got an email, and it looks like I got another art commission for fantasy art, so that's what I'll probably be doing tomorrow and also this weekend. So there'll be kind of a break on Rabbit Fighter, but not a long one. Anyways. Oh, the other thing I want to show you, this is pretty cool. I recently found out about these. I didn't know these existed. I've always loved toy soldiers and especially science fiction stuff. These are called Ajax Archer figures. And I kind of discovered them on eBay. They're big. They're not the size of like the little toy soldiers. They're bigger. And they're made out of kind of a hard plastic. You can hear what they sound like. These were made in the 50s originally. I'm not sure if these were actually originals. I think they might be. I have a green one over there in my cabinet, and I think that one's a repro, because they did some reproductions. A company called Glencoe did some reproductions in the 90s. But they used like a nicer plastic, like a different plastic, and they weren't like this is like brittle, hard plastic. And then I also found this guy, and I love his look as well. Now he's different. He looks like he kind of belongs with them, but he's taller, as you can see, and the sculpt is different. Like it has the same kind of classic shark fin topped space helmet. I think this is from a Flash Gordon or a Buck Rogers set, and it is not related. There's a company called Premiere who did this. All these guys have little jet packs. I don't know, they're very cool. They're very inspiring. I want to do something with them soon. So we'll have to think about what that might turn out to be. Alright, let's throw down an ink layer. Layer 15. Ink. Alright, starting with the closest character. This is actually kind of a tough angle. It's the 3/4 behind shot. And as usual, I'm causing myself problems with it. So the problems are, what do you do with the eyes? How big are the eyes? Where's the mouth? There we go. I think that's close to what we want. We don't want to make him look like he's... When you do a character in a profile like this, it's easy to make him look like he's looking behind himself. We want him to look forward. Let's take a look at it without the pencils. And also, you run the risk of making the head too long. You know? In this case, I think I've got the nose ratio about right. He's just gonna look. He's gonna look kind of mutated. This is where reference really comes in. Too much chin. I've got all kinds of problems. Alright, oops. Thought maybe I could get away with that, but I guess I couldn't. Now I could. There we go. So I think part of my problem is I'm setting the eye too far back. Or maybe it's the eyebrow. Well, let's leave the features out for a second. If instead of a 3/4 view, we do it to a straight profile, slightly easier. Alright, that's closer to acceptability. At least looks like the character. And we're going to do sort of a top light here. All right, now. There's the back of his arm. All these lines I did over here I thought were going to be helpful, but I don't think they were that helpful in the end. I think I need to learn to become a little bit more efficient with my drawing. Everything's about simplification, especially in comics. Overdrawing and over-rendering doesn't help anyone. I know that's the style now. It's also the reason why it's getting overtaken by AI. Because it does that over-rendered style dead on. Perfect. But it doesn't do the hand-drawn style very well. Alright. That's looking okay. Now, what's the next closest is Rabbit Fighter. Now, I could do the left arm. And there is something important that I've got to do, which is he still has bandages on underneath. He'll eventually shed those. We'll still see a little bit of the bandages. Alright, let's do Rabbit Fighter. He's got his own problems. He's got two different eyes. One eye is the blinded eye. Oh, like that. Same deal here. He's also wearing the toga. I think I might have to do some reference for the toga. I know how to draw a character in a toga, but I don't know about the side view. Does it come back down like this? I think it does. There's a belt. Might be like this. I think that feels okay. Also, this move that he's doing, this is the hand. Thumb. This is the thumb right here. And the other finger. It's supposed to look like he's thinking about something. I think his thumb could go back here. He could be holding his elbow, you know, like this. My problem is I went in so hard with thicker outlines that I think, because owing that this character is further away, I probably need to thin up his outlines, or at least make clear where they are shadows, you know? Like that could be a shadow. Same deal here. Now the legs, I do have an excuse. You saw I drew them like 3 seconds into this video. So maybe the legs are wrong. I drew the legs in because I boosted them up. I moved the character up. So maybe they go here. Or here. I think that might be closer to what I want, something like that. We don't get much expression from him because we only see his blinded eye. I think that's probably enough. All right, let's do the rest of the scene. Move my mouse a little bit. Okay, next closest is Isolde. Female characters for me are the hardest. I was really surprised when I found out, some people only draw female characters. Everything else is hard for them. I call this under the chin shadow the Milk Caniff shadow. I saw a couple of demos of him drawing Dragon Lady and some of his other iconic female characters, and he would always do this under the chin shadow. This was almost... Well, there she is. Let's take a look. She's small, but I think she's correct. And you can see how distressed my pixels are looking. That's on purpose. All right, let's see. Just for reference's sake, it's on her left, our right, as we see the cloak clasp and the sash and this sort of half cape looking thing. Okay. Let's do it. Missed opportunity, right? All right. I think she should be. There we go. These fingers ain't looking right. There's probably a lot to fix here. Like, is her head too big? I think her head couldn't go any smaller, so if anything, we're going to make the body bigger. I think my eraser's too big, possibly. No. She looks proper Silver Age now with that hairstyle. There's the belt. There's the rest of the dress. Arms are meant to be bare. She was actually inspired by Wolfgal, who was a character in Little Abner, who was a cannibal. But I just had this idea. I like the idea of a werewolf character. So there's a little bit of Wonder Woman in her. A little bit of Athena. Almost want to put her. Let's do this leg. Let's move it. It's not advised to this late in the game to be moving the pose around, but I'm gonna do it anyways just to see how it looks. Actually, you know what? It looks better this way. That was a good call to move it. Okay. She got sandals. All right. I've rapidly I've stretched the concept of mid-thigh. Alright, here we go. Alright, so now we have our three characters, sort of floating in space. But there's a whole background, a whole world around them, and the world is more important than the characters themselves in a lot of ways. In fact, they're literally discussing this giant robot hand. And also the square robots, which are also in the background. So all that stuff is, these are important details. It's important in other ways too, because we need to show the reader where we are, what we're doing. I think I was going to put a tree over here. Oh, it's very likely that almost my entire tree is going to get covered up by that speech bubble. Maybe not the entire tree. Maybe there'll be a little bit of it sneaking out, peeking out. A little bit of shrubbery. This is one of the Scourge bots. They're a fortuitous design because they're square, which means you can really practice your perspective when you're trying to draw them. Or attempting to. But they're destroyed too. So we gotta make some destruction. Maybe some huge dents. Leaking fluids. Alright. This is going to take a couple of days. But you can see, just with a couple of these sort of shrubbery lines, we're starting to get a background together. It's starting to come together. Let's do another bash right over here on the corner. We can add further depth with our tones once we get to that level. So in the last issue of Rabbit Fighter, they had commandeered this giant robot hand and used it to escape from the radioactive wasteland of Waste World. But this hand actually goes all the way back to the first 9-volt anthology. One of my stories in there has this same hand is in a battle with Prometheus Powers. The robot has the hand on it, but at one point it grabs Prometheus Powers in the hand and he's crushing him. Prometheus Powers escapes. I don't like this line. I think I've screwed up this line. So let's bring it back. All right. All right, we're at 32 minutes. And you can see we've started to get more details. So we're going to continue working on this. Please like, follow, and subscribe. There will be more comics every day. I've got some fantasy commissions coming up, which I'll be working on. Kind of getting inspired to do something with science fiction lately. And we're going to be doing all kinds of techniques with Procreate and with putting in tones. Let's have it like the arm was separated a little bit. Maybe the pieces of the arm are kind of laying over here. It's a junkyard, after all. Before you'll know it, we'll have another finished comic on our hands. All right. See you later. Goodbye.